Severe weather alert from WWL Weather, sponsored by Higginbotham Insurance and
All right, good evening. We are going to update you with the 7 o'clock coordinates as well as the current conditions of Tropical Storm Bertha. What we wanted to see is this: the pressure is rising, meaning those storms are weakening, and that is exactly what has been forecasted. Now, while the winds remain at 60 miles an hour, it is positive to see the pressure going up. Also positive to see this westerly motion at 6 miles an hour. It could be west over the next few hours. It could be more west-northwest or northwest, southwest even. It's going to be those little wobbles as it moves toward the Louisiana coastline. Point is, the worst of the storms look like they will stay offshore. So updating that on radar now, there is almost a lack of rain on the northern side of this storm. Now, while we won't be completely dry tomorrow, I think our rain coverage is going to be far more limited through tomorrow, really throughout the day tomorrow. Landfall probably sometime in the mid-afternoon, around 1 o'clock or so. This is not a new track as of 7 o'clock. This is still the track from 4 o'clock. We will get a new track forecast at 10 tonight, but I don't foresee any real changes to this. And again, keep in mind that this is all going to be the dry side of the storm with all of the thunderstorms and strongest winds from the center south, and actually maybe even a little bit farther removed to the south as we head later into tomorrow afternoon. We're going to go back to regular programming on WWL, but if you would like to join us for a little bit more in-depth coverage, we're going to have a bit more detailed outlook on our streaming app. Join us there.
This has been a severe weather alert from WWL Weather, sponsored by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
All right, and just joining us, or if you're just now joining us, I want to update on what has been going on with Bertha, and thankfully no surprises, all exactly what we have been expecting to happen. I'm going to go back to our satellite imagery here. I just switched from our visible satellite, which clearly shows that center, because that's based on daylight imagery. We call it visible because it's basically a camera on the GOES satellite, and switched it over to infrared that we can use at night. Not as clear of a picture of that surface circulation, but we can colorize it and show you where the more intense storms are. And thankfully, as what has been forecasted, the dry air, the wind shear is keeping all of the storms away from the center. So while the center struggles to really get any thunderstorms going around it, what has been more south still remain fairly healthy. But what you also can see is while this is the surface circulation, there is clearly a little spin right here. That's the mid-level circulation. The surface circulation and the mid-level circulation, which should be on top of each other, are now becoming spread apart because of that strong wind shear. So it is being what we call decoupled. It's being removed, the mid-level, from its surface circulation, so it cannot strengthen. Now, while that mid-level circulation is still able to keep those thunderstorms healthy down to the south, it is not going to overall be healthy for this tropical storm, which is why we always expected it would start weakening and we would be on the drier side. And we are certainly going to be on the drier side because it's basically this that is moving our way. So it's not completely dry. There will be some passing showers, but I think our rain chances tomorrow pretty minimal, and even lower would be the threat of any real flooding. As we go throughout the afternoon tomorrow, that's when the storm makes landfall. But also keep in mind during the day tomorrow, because we are going to still see a lot of sunshine thanks to the dry air, wind shear, and high pressure, we're going to be under an extreme heat warning, meaning heat indices of 150 or 110 to 115. It will be brutally hot. So if you have any plans to go pick up some stuff in your yard, not that I think you really need to do a whole lot of that, but for areas outside of the hurricane risk reduction system, placing sandbags, which are necessary, just use caution. It is going to be a hot one, but thankfully the dry air and wind shear have really won out. So our computer model, not perfect, but giving you the idea that most of the stronger storms will stay south of the center and remain farther offshore. Maybe a few bands of some passing showers, but I think the wind shear increasing and dry air will even likely limit just how much rainfall we see. So the rainfall totals have actually decreased a bit, with now many seeing at most a quarter of an inch, maybe nearing an inch of rain in the metro area. And while it looks like everybody gets rain tomorrow, that is not going to be the case. The rain coverage is going to be fairly limited. Now, over the last couple of hours, we have seen some passing showers, somewhat associated with Bertha. The bulk of the thunderstorms near the core are all offshore. So these are kind of you could call them outer bands if you'd like. These are all somewhat associated with the overall rotation circulation with the system. And we do get some heavy downpours here. Cooling rain if it lasts long enough from Luling to Desalmans, because we hit 95 degrees and this band kind of continues down towards Chauvin. So cutting across St. Charles, Lafourche, and into Terrebonne. I've had a few passing showers in western Tangier Hope Parish, but a few more pop-up showers in Livingston and St. Helena. Winds will also be increasing during the day tomorrow, but I tell you what, under an extreme heat warning, I'll take a bit of a breeze, and thankfully the winds will be manageable. Can't say we won't have some minor power outages. We know sometimes it doesn't take much more than a sneeze, and we will see wind gusts up to maybe at most 40 miles an hour closer to the coast, maybe the 20 to 30 plus mile an hour range, maybe say 25 to 35 in the city, and even less as you go onto the North Shore. So clearly closer to the center you go, the stronger the winds are going to be. And these are not going to last all day. Through the afternoon, evening, and then by Wednesday night and into early Thursday, winds will be, while still breezy at times, not as strong. And note the winds will be changing direction to out of the south. And as far as the storm surge goes, while not something that we need to just discount completely, it should be fairly minimal. Right along the lakefront, both southern Tangi as well as St. Tammany Parish could see about a foot of water above ground level. The areas in white are within the hurricane risk reduction system, so there is no forecast of that. And then the highest is probably going to be more the Biloxi Marsh and parts of eastern Plaquemines Parish, maybe parts of Terrebonne Bay could see roughly a 3 foot above ground level. But again, if you're within the hurricane risk reduction system, you're not going to have any issues. So what we're looking at, gusty winds and some passing storms at times on Wednesday. Limited flood threat from storm surge and even more limited from any heavy rainfall. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center, who issues those flood products, have even decreased our flooding risk from a level 2 of 4 to a level 1 of 4. Extreme heat, I think, will be the main focus tomorrow for folks that may be just trying to clean up stuff in their yard or do stuff outdoors. It is going to be a very hot day. We've had a lot of sunshine around, but at least a few isolated cooling showers. Some rain near the airport. They're at 86 degrees right now, so it's going to be a hot day with an extreme heat warning, while at the same time we're watching a landfalling tropical storm in southeast Louisiana. Again, conditions look minimal, or conditions tomorrow look minimal with regard to tropical impacts. I think the heat is probably going to be our biggest foe on Wednesday. We'll update all of the information tropic-wise as well as our ongoing heat coming up on WW Louisiana News at 10.